Hello everyone, welcome to Answer Kari. So let's continue with the Hello everyone, welcome to Answer Kari. Let's continue with the following questions. So this question says how many numbers are there from 300 to 700 which are divisible by 2, 3 and 7. So basically this question asks that 300 से लेकर के 700 तक we have how many such numbers like including these as well. इनके बीच में भी and including these as well. How many such numbers are there which are divisible by 2, 3 and 7 यानी कि वो इन तीनों नंबर से डिविजिबल हो not just one not just two those numbers should be divisible by all these three numbers. So what we know is that the least number that will be divisible by all these three numbers will be equal to their LCM. यानी कि जो इन तीनों numbers का LCM होगा that will be the least such number which will be divisible by all these three numbers. So finding out the LCM, since these three numbers are prime, so it will be 28 and then multiplied by 2. So it will be 42. So 42 will be the least common multiple of these numbers. Now they are saying that we need to find such numbers which exist from 300 till 700. So 42 is obviously very less than 300 and it does not lie between this range. So we need to make such multiples like it should be 42x. We need to make such multiples of 42 from 300 till 700. So to make multiples, we need to just round off this a bit. For example, to get 300, see, till 100 we have 2 times 42. Like we are going by the approximation. So it will be 2 times 42. Then till after we do it 4 times, for example, 42 multiplied by 4 will reach up to 200 approximately. Then for 300 we can take the approximation as 7, like 42 multiplied by 7. So we'll just check now once. For example, it will be 14 and then it will be 294. So 42 7 times becomes 294, which means 42 multiplied by 8. So 8 is a good number here because after we multiply this by 8, it will start from 300, right? Which means 8 is important here. We need to focus upon 8. So एक तो हम 8 से start कर रहे हैं because we need the numbers after 300 which are multiple of 42 because all the multiples of 42 will also be divisible by these numbers, that is 2, 3 and 7. Now we need them up till 700. So as we can see, when we multiplied 42 8 times, then we reached up till 300. So when we multiply it approximately 16 times, then we might reach up to 600 or perhaps a bit more than that. So we'll just check now. So it will be 12 and 24, 25. It will be 2 and then it will be 4. So this here becomes 672. Okay, so if we do it like 42 multiplied by 17, it will go greater than 700, which we do not need, right? So we'll just focus upon the number 16 here and 18 here. So 18 here is included because from 8, like when you multiply 42 by 8, then the number starts from 300, right? It lies between the range of 300 and 700. So 8 we have here when we start from 8, and even 16 lies between 299 and 701, right? So here we can write 16 here. So we need to subtract 7 from 16 and not 8 because 8 is included. So if we subtract these, the numbers that we'll get will be equal to 9, which means that there are 9 such numbers which are multiple of 42 which lie between 300 and 700. So that is the only reason why all these numbers will be divisible by 2, 3 and 7. So the answer for this question will be equal to 9. Now the next question says 3 numbers are in the ratio 1:2:3 and their highest common factor is 12. The numbers are. So focusing upon this question, see it says the numbers are in the ratio 1:2:3. तो एक तो हम ऑप्शन से चेक कर सकते हैं कि सबका रेशियो 1:2:3 है या नहीं. And obviously the ratio is 1:2:3. Which means that if we cancel it by like suppose 5 we put equal to 1, then this number will be twice this number. And this number here will be thrice the first number that is present. This is what the ratio means after we cancel it out to the simplest forms. Then they say that the highest common factor is equal to 12, which means that all these numbers must be divisible by 12, right? जो भी वो तीन numbers है जो हमें find out करना है, which are in this particular ratio. So if we check about the ratio here, see all these numbers are present in this ratio. And then they say that highest common factor is 12. So पहली बात तो factor 12 होना चाहिए, यानी कि all these numbers this should be divisible by 12. And the second thing is that 12 should be the highest number जिनसे वो तीनों divide हो रहा है, right? The numbers should not be divisible by 24 etc. तो रेशियो एस्पेक्ट पे जो फोकस करते हैं देन वी रियलाइज के जैसे हमने रेशियो को तो चेक कर लिया हर ऑप्शन में कि रेशियो इज सैटिस्फाइंग द कंडीशन. Then they say कि highest common factor is 12, so which means that all the numbers should be divisible by 12, and also the highest number जिससे कि हम डिवाइड कर सकते हैं सारे numbers को वो 12 होना चाहिए. It should not be any multiple of 12, वो 12 ही होना चाहिए and not any other number. So see in this case, if we see in the first option, all these numbers are getting divided by 12, and 12 is the highest common factor here. There is no other number which is like able to divide all these three numbers. And also the ratio is 1:2:3. So this is correct. Then if we see the other options, for example here if you see we have 5, 10 and 15. This was 15. So 12 is not the highest common factor of these numbers. So all these numbers are not divisible by 12. Then इस केस में देखें तो सिर्फ 12 divisible है 12 से, 4 and 8 are not divisible by 12. And also highest common factor होना चाहिए, not just a factor. सिर्फ divisibility criteria नहीं है, it should be highest common factor. Then we have 10, 20 and 30. So even in this case, see, all these numbers are not divisible by 12. So obviously the first option will only be the correct answer for this particular question. Then moving on to this question, it says the least perfect square number which is divisible by 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. So here we are talking about the least perfect square number. So the number should be a perfect square. Perfect square means जिसको कि हम किसी natural number का square करके लिख सकते हैं, उस number को हम perfect square बोलते हैं, right? मतलब हम किसी natural number को यहाँ पे लिखें फिर उसका जो square है वो ये number है, तो ऐसे नंबर को हम परफेक्ट स्क्वायर बोलते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल द नंबर्स लाइक 4, 9 एंड देन वी हैव लाइक 64 हो गया 8 का स्क्वायर, तो इन सबको वी कॉल देम परफेक्ट स्क्वायर्स. नॉट द नंबर्स लाइक 2. लाइक स्क्वायर तो हर एक नेचुरल नंबर को हो सकता है, बट वी आर फोकसिंग अपॉन कि वो जो नंबर है वो किसका स्क्वायर है, राइट? Like this perfect square number. Then they say which is divisible by 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. So the least perfect square number which is divisible by 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. तो अगेन लीस्ट परफेक्ट स्क्वायर बोल रहा है, तो सबसे पहले तो हमें इनका एलसीएम निकालना है, राइट? बिकॉज द नंबर शुड बी डिविजिबल बाय दिस, एंड फिर हम मल्टीपल्स के ऊपर वर्क करेंगे. सी दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग दैट वी नीड टू रिमेंबर. जब भी हम एलसीएम निकालते हैं इन दीज टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, इफ यू नीड टू फाइंड आउट अनदर नंबर, लाइक दे आर नॉट डायरेक्टली आस्किंग द एलसीएम बट वो कोई और नंबर पूछ रहे हैं, देन दोज नंबर्स विल definitely be multiples of the particular LCM that we have. इसके वो multiple होंगे for sure, and all the multiples will also be divisible by this particular number. For example अगर हम कहते हैं कि जो 8 है वो divide होता है 2 से और 4 से, तो 8 का अगर हम multiple करते हैं 16, तो 16 will definitely be divisible by 2 and 4. ये for sure है, क्योंकि जब 8 हो रहा है तो multiple करेंगे तो वो होएगा. Now they say which is divisible by, okay, so these numbers you have, so we can just write these numbers here, 6 and 8. So this will be 3 itself, ये हो जाएगा 2 raised to the power 2. This will be 5 itself. This will be 3 multiplied by 2. And this here becomes 2 raised to the power 3. And now they're asking about LCM. तो LCM में हम लेंगे 2 raised to the power 3. Then we'll take 3 raised to the power 1. Because वही maximum value present है ना यहाँ पे. And then we'll take 5. 5 raised to the power 1. So if you multiply these, see we'll have 8 and then we'll have 3 and then we'll have 5. 8 and 5 will be 40 and 43 will be 120, which means that 120 is the multiple of these numbers, that is 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8. यानी कि 120 is the least number जो कि इन सबसे divisible है, completely divisible है. Then they say we need a least perfect square number, which means now we'll try to make multiples of 120 and फिर हमें एक ऐसा square perfect square number चाहिए. So in this case, if you multiply this by 2, we'll have 240. Now 240 is not a perfect square number. ऐसे ऐसे करके we can also try with the options. For example, here we can see that 900 and 2500, both these and even 3600, like these three options. 1200 is not a perfect square number, तो ये तो हमने करना ही नहीं है. So we have 900, 2500 and 3600. These are three perfect squares that are present here and they are saying least. लेकिन जो ये 900 है, for example, this is the perfect square of 30. Then we have this is the perfect square of 50. And then here we have 60. 60 का square करेंगे, then we'll get 3600. So now we need to make multiples of 120. See, 120, if we divide 900 by 120, so 90 is not completely divisible by 12, which means कि 900 जो है वो multiple नहीं है 12 का. Same we'll check with 2500. So 2500 यानी कि 250 12 के table में नहीं आता, which means even this is not possible. And the only option that will be left is the option D. यानी कि 120, if we multiply 120 by 30, what we'll get will be equal to 3600, which means this is the number. And they're saying the least perfect square number which is divisible by all these numbers. So which means that this is the least perfect square number जो कि divisible है 3, 4, 5, 6 and 8 in सारे numbers से. So the D option will be the correct option for this particular question. Thank you.